I call the member for Fowler.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. It is humbling to stand here again, returned by the people of Fowler for its second term as their independent representative. In a sea of red, the people of Fowler stood firm. Despite the resources, the machinery and the odds, they sent me back to this place to continue doing what I've always done: speak for them, fight for them, and ensure they are not forgotten. That speaks volume about my community. For decades, Fowler was considered one of the safest seats in the country, a seat once held by the Prime Minister Gough Whitlam, a seat built by working families and shaped by wave after wave of migrants and refugees who, like me, came here in search of freedom and stayed to build a life. But in 2022, everything changed. They chose an independent voice. This year, the people of Fowler showed that choice wasn't a one-off or an accident. It was a lasting shift. They have seen how an independent voice can better represent their concerns, free from party politics. They have someone who listens, lives among them, and puts community above party. Since my election in 2022, my team have assisted over 8,000 families. We brought our mobile office into the streets of Fowler with our Bring Your Bill Day forum. We helped people navigate the NDIS, reconnect with loved ones overseas, secure emergency accommodation and access food hampers. We did all of this with empathy and urgency because that is what representing Fowler means to me. Deputy Speaker, when I made my maiden speech in 2022, my mother sat in the public gallery alongside members of my community. She may not be here physically today, but I know her spirit is with me. I will never forget where I came from. As a refugee, a boat person, someone who was given a chance to rebuild her life in this peaceful country I now call home. I believe every Australian, no matter where they come from, their postcode or income, deserves that same chance. In this second term, my mission remains unchanged. I will continue to push this government to deliver for Western and South-Western Sydney, for families struggling with cost of living crisis that pushes them to the edge. I hear it everywhere. Families asking, what is this government doing to bring down petrol prices, to cut the tolls, to make energy and housing affordable, to reduce the burden on small businesses drowning in red and green tape. Childcare remains out of reach for many parents, despite claims of affordability. Parents work 2 to 3 jobs just to get by. Centres can't find enough staff and have been forced to raise prices because of heavy regulatory cost. Local businesses, many family-run and migrant-owned, struggle to survive under rising expenses and policies crafted without them in mind. Despite 500,000 free TAFE places announced, critical courses such as baking and meat processing aren't available locally to meet our workforce needs. Students and workers in Fowler still face toll roads, congested roads, overcrowded trains, and watch as infrastructure dollars go elsewhere. And yet, through all these challenges, my community continues to show up. They work hard, they keep businesses open, they volunteer for Meals on Wheels, pack sleeping bags for Vinnies, coach local kids, care for elders, and contribute every way they can, against all odds. Deputy Speaker, the people of Fowler aren't asking for handouts. They want fairness, investments that matches the contributions they make every single day. In my first term, I called for the reinstatement of the low and middle income tax offset because families in Fowler were struggling and still are. This term, I will continue to urge the Labor government, a party with roots in representing working Australians, to honour that legacy. Bring back this tax relief for low and middle income earners. I will also call for the tax-free threshold, stuck at $18,200 since 2012, to be lifted to reflect rising inflation and living costs. This is genuine relief for workers and small businesses alike. I will stand firm for the right to use cash, because not everyone in Fowler has a smartphone or trusts digital banking. I will push for real students' debt reform, not just indexation relief, but a reversal of the punitive fee hikes from the Morrison era that saw arts degrees soar from $20,000 to $50,000, pricing many young people out of education. I will continue to advocate urgently for investment in public school infrastructure. For example, Bonrick High School was built for 950 students. It now holds nearly double that, with over 40 demountable classrooms. The Commonwealth sets national priorities and funds agreements with states. So I ask, if every public school is meant to be fully and fairly funded, why are schools like Bonrick High left behind? Deputy Speaker, being in this place is a privilege I will never take for granted. As an independent, my job is to bring the voices of my community into this House and to hold the government to account. To the Prime Minister and his government, you ask for a mandate. Now use it to deliver. Build the East-West Metro. Don't just build an airport. Connect it so that people in Fowler and southwest Sydney can access the jobs you promise. Invest in roads, schools, hospitals and local sporting grounds. Support the small businesses that kept this economy afloat during COVID. The virus might have passed, but the disruption has not. Have empathy for the early risers who clean, cook, build, drive and care. Have empathy for young people with big dreams but little support. Have empathy for multicultural communities that make this country strong. Too many in Canberra have spent too long inside a bubble, far removed from the communities you once fought for. I'm here to remind you, don't forget them now. Deputy Speaker, the people of Fowler sent me back to keep speaking up, and I will. Not for corporations, CEOs or boardrooms, but for the everyday Australians who power this country. I may not belong to a major party, but I belong to a community, a beautiful, diverse, determined community. And I will spend every day of this term doing what I promised, being their voice, fighting for their future, and making sure that they are never left behind. Before I close, I want to thank those who stood beside me and made this possible. To my office team, Justin Mulder, Margaret Cheng, Marsha Kozlova, Eileen Kups-Hongsi, Miriam Abdul-Rahman, Leonie Lay, Valentine Pritchich, Maria Compart, Bao Nguyen, Christopher Yates, Ina Hop, Hol Saffel, Angela Chow, Johanna Roshka and Kimberly Pham. Thank you for your dedication in serving our community. To some of the campaign volunteers who've been with me on this journey for years, Julius, Emmanuel Ang, Ed Jones, Leith and Holly Korn, Suli Lim, Evan Yalda, Gary Pham, Jose Miranda Garcia, Trin Mai Guko, Dennis Suro, thank you for your trust and faith in me. And there are many more volunteers that I have not been able to name. To my councillor colleagues, Kevin Lam, Charbel Saliba, Marie Saliba, Samir Youssef, Milan Milasovic, Marko Mijatovic, Rennie Barco, and especially our Mayor, Frank Carboni. Thank you for standing with me. The Mayor stood beside me and fought every day during the pre-poll, and to all those who volunteer with me as well. To my family, my son Ethan Lambert, handing out how to vote cards since he was 7 years of age. My husband Marcus, who backed my campaign from our family mortgage. Thank you for your unwavering belief. To my sisters V, JC, Tweevy, Melanie and their families, Alan, Jade, Tara Anderson, thank you for standing by me at every election. To the local businesses and community groups who've donated, mobilised and shared your belief, I couldn't have done this without you. In those final weeks, every night as I meditated to YouTube's free meditation channels, I was bombarded by Labor attack ads claiming a vote for me was a vote for Dutton. Yet I found calm amid the storm, drawing strength from quiet reflection and a deep belief in the work I do for this community I serve. Deputy Speaker, I will keep going because Fowler deserves nothing less. I just also want to add that I know that the previous member for Lingiari talk about the Brethans, and during the pre-poll, our experience of the Brethans were different. They fed everybody, Labor, Independent, and everybody. So there was food every day for us, they were very, very friendly, both the young men and the young women who came to pre-poll. But election time and pre-poll time can be very testing, can challenge our patience, it can draw people into a fighting mode, but we try to be as civilised and as courteous as possible. But our experience in Fowler was that we were overfed with pizza, donuts, meat pies every day, but I just want to take this opportunity to thank my community for those who voted, or those who even didn't vote for me. I will be there to serve them, to continue to be a strong voice, to ensure that we get the resources we need, especially for our local councils, Fairfield and Liverpool City, to ensure that we can deliver the infrastructure that we need for our community. Once again, I want to thank my councillor colleagues, my team of volunteers and my staff for their continuing service to our community during that very challenging time. And I'll be in this place and I will continue to shout very loudly and strongly for my community and to ensure that services and resources gets delivered eventually for my wonderful community. Thank you.